What's so special about avant-garde fashion? Which kinds of events enable clothes of this unusual format to be worn? And how should you correctly wear elements of avant-garde in your image? We'll tell you all about this in our program. Avant-garde has many different areas. Avant-garde artists are innovators in various forms of art, like painting, architecture, music, and of course fashion. French fashion designer Pierre Cardin founded the avant-garde trend in the world of fashion. He presented his bold avant-garde collection entitled Space to the world. Mini sundresses similar to spacesuit skirts with bows that resembled the propeller of an aircraft engine items with an original cut. All this created a mysterious atmosphere of unknown space. Following in the steps of Pierre Cardin, many world fashion designers, particularly Vivienne Westwood, Yves Saint Laurent, Paco Rabanne, tried to bring the spirit of avant-garde into their collections when designing them. What is the special feature of avant-garde fashion? First and foremost, these are unusual materials and bizarre shapes of products. Designers use unorthodox silhouettes and cuts to design avant-garde clothing. This can be, for example, volumetric geometric figures, asymmetry or catchy accessories. There is definitely no way one can get lost in the crowd wearing such clothes. A very large section of designers, both abroad and in Ukraine, is involved in avant-garde fashion. For me, avant-garde fashion is primarily nonconformist thinking. It includes perceptions outside the framework of the fashion industry, but not patterns forged during the years of the existence of fashion as a phenomenon or a concept. As an avant-garde artist, I think in the direction that I want to realize something, based on my creative matters, on my inspiration, which is more metaphysical than the standards of the fashion industry. In modern-day fashion, both Western and Ukrainian, innovative designers often use the avant-garde style in the design shows. For example, all the collections of legendary designer Alexander McQueen were real art. He often used complex scenery in his theatrical performances, as well as music that accurately reflected the mood of a collection. The 2010 fashion show titled The Horn of Plenty was probably one of the most striking collections. Ornithology inspired the designer to create it. Hats of incredible sizes resembling cages, bright feathers, fabrics with images of birds, flashy makeup of models and piercing music. This was a really bright show. There are avant-garde shows that look like theatrical performances. They can include unreal scenery, light shows when clothing is completely lost and highlighted with different colors, thereby showing us that it's not the clothing itself, but the way you wear it that is of great importance. Avant-garde fashion gives designers the opportunity to abandon boring and traditional shows in favor of originality. Though some designers prefer to put on interactive shows, when all the guests are gathered in a certain room and an entertainer can sing there. At the same time, models walk in different ways, changing places. It can be experience. For example, an artist is painting pictures and models can walk interactively or do something. There are no limits, and avant-garde is intertwined with art. That is music, pictures, fabric textures, and models are intertwined here.
Здесь и картины, здесь и фактуры тканей, здесь и модели. Это может быть футуристический.
It can be futuristic headwear of unreal colors such as neon, made of plastic and so on. It can be absolutely anything.
Это может быть неон, это может быть что угодно.
For example, Ukrainian designer Fedor Vozyanov, expanding the boundaries of opportunities in fashion, uses a special experimental approach when designing fashionable looks. His collections possess not only the function of clothing, the same thing can serve as a wardrobe and interior item. For example, a table, a lamp, or even a painting.
Мы постоянно делаем что-то.
We're continually doing something that goes beyond the borders of attire, turning clothing into different multifunctional items. And this is precisely what we are most interested in fashion.
Интереснее всего. То, что нам интересно в моде.
What we're interested in is feeling for fashion boundaries and to what precise point can clothing be clothing, and what does it turn into what it goes beyond clothing. And it is in the sense that we are an innovative brand or an avant-garde brand.
Avant-garde бренд.
There are two directions in avant-garde fashion: catwalk collections bordering on art displays and collections made for stores. Despite the fact that we present art products on catwalks, there are many variations that are more functional. Our products have a large number of transformations. While on the catwalk we present incredibly voluminous hoods. We show viewers how to transform trousers into a coat. Then in real life you can wake up in the morning and think that you need comfortable trousers. And after all, you don't need to wear things that can be transformed all at once. You can simply choose these trousers and go for a walk in them. So for me it is very important to make clothing functional. Irina Jus has dreamt of becoming a designer from the age of 5. She has designed and made clothes from her childhood. After graduating from the Kiev Children's Academy of Arts, she continued her studies at the Kiev National University of Technology and Design. When still a student, she worked as a stylist, and after graduating from university, she began to design avant-garde clothing in parallel. What inspires her to design unusual collections? The first category includes abstract concepts that are on the verge of perception. These are developments that can affect one's mood, horizons so deep that I want to express them in a material manifestation. The second category that inspires me is applied things. For example, I can see a torn shirt on a person and understand how I can refine this destroyed seam in my design. The avant-garde approach in designing clothes always involves unorthodox techniques. When designing her collections, fashion designer Irina Jus believes that nothing is impossible. To turn theory into practice, you just need to bring your plan to life. And she is successful in this. The innovative cut which the designer uses involves many transformations of her products. A woman who leads an active lifestyle can be found in the editorial office or in the gallery during the day. There she needs a smart, casual look. In the evening she is invited to the opening of an exhibition and she needs a more evening look which contains some interesting elements. And after that she can go to a crazy party where she wants to be in the spotlight and can show all the avant-garde potential of her suit by transforming certain details into bulky shoulders, textured elements. Certain cutting systems enable me to create such designs in clothes. The fabrics used by the design in her collections are quite diverse. But basically they are environmentally friendly and natural. For summer collections I prefer linen, cotton, denim. I love denim so much. For winter ones, I use wool, thick cotton and quilted materials. My winter collection contains a lot of quilted elements with hemp filler, which is produced by a Ukrainian brand. Wearing avant-garde clothing definitely requires an inner uniqueness. Artists and people who belong to art professions fall into this category most often. Basically, such clothes are preferred by people involved in fashion. They are designers, stylists and fashion bloggers. It's the fashion circuit that can afford to wear these clothes because they have venues where they can be shown. Of course, one can hardly imagine such clothes being part of office attire. Our clients are of course creative women, like painters, architects, gallery owners and artists. And recently even men have tried on these clothes. Despite the fact that our clothes are positioned as feminine and the cut is feminine, but there are many neutral oversized silhouettes that are spacious and can be regarded as unisex. The avant-garde style in clothes implies unusual shapes, an unusual cut and the use of bright accessories in the image. But in this case, individual elements of the image should ideally go hand in hand with each other and fit into the overall concept of the ensemble. Avant-garde is primarily thinking beyond boundaries, and that includes the use of unorthodox accessories. The fact is, being involved in my brand also helps me as a stylist, because by being involved in art projects where I would like to design the complete image, or projects where, in my opinion, my brand's clothing can look interesting, I combine these two areas and obtain a very rich avant-garde result. Even if avant-garde clothing attracted you with its unusual shape and intricate cuts, you should always remember that such outfits are not appropriate everywhere and at all times. Of course, to design an everyday bright image, it is sufficient to borrow elements from avant-garde collections. But where is it possible to wear designer avant-garde clothes? For example, you can look stylish and cool for street style or fashion week. Avant-garde fashion is off the wall and quite often offers unexpected decisions in fashion design. If you want to look bright and unusual, use elements of avant-garde style in your image. When highlighting the eccentric nature of your look, it is important to consider all the details and place the different accents correctly. Perhaps it will be a bright accessory or loud headwear or an unusual jacket with massive sleeves. Remember, in the avant-garde style, it is important to avoid overly bright accents, and most importantly, that unorthodox external image should be in harmony with your inner state of mind.